Hey everybody, and welcome to our Greene Acres. So let's get started working on our projects for today. The first one is going to be this carousel horse. I got this at Goodwill and it was half off for $4.99, so I got it for $2.50. The top of it, as you can see, has some damage to it, but that's okay. We are going to fix it and we are going to bring this back to life. The first thing I wanted to do was give it a fresh coat of paint, so I'm going over it with a Rust-Oleum flat matte white. I gave it a couple layers and let it dry. I brought it back in. Now let's address the damage on the top. The only damage to the horse was at the top. So I'm just going to go in. I went through my supplies and I found this little plastic. It's kind of like a little ring. And I think this come off of a balloon curtain. But I thought it would make the perfect little... I need something round so I can start filling in that hole to give it some support. So when I put the pole back through the carousel horse, it'll have some structure to it. So I glued that on, let that dry, and once that dried, I went in with some air dry clay. Now I'm just trying to fill in the rest of that damage in that hole, and I'm just working it down with my fingers using some air dry clay. It's really easy to form it, and you can always add some water to your fingers and smooth that over and just smooth it down until you get it the way you want it. Now once I repaired the damage on the top and everything is dry really good, now I'm going to go back in and I'm going to put the pole back through the center. I will have to add some glue at the top just to secure the pole in. Since this carousel horse had some damage and it had, was broken, and you can actually hear the broken pieces inside of the horse, I'm going to have to secure it down with some glue just so that pole will not slide through. And that way it'll just give it some extra structure, and I felt like it held it really well. And I just used some Gorilla super glue, and it's one of my favorite super glues. It dries really fast. So now I'm just going to put the base back on it. And once we get the base assembled back on, I'm going to add a little bit of detail to it. I went through my transfer scraps. Y'all know I have a little box of little pieces of transfers that I have left over from projects, and I just store them in a little box. I went through, I found this one. I thought it was perfect for the base because my base curves, and this transfer right here, the wording kind of curved around, so I thought it fit perfect. I applied it to the bottom, and I think it added just the perfect detail to the carousel horse. Now let's make over this thrifted tray. I love making over trays, and I love this one. Look at the patina on the handle. I'm going to leave everything just like it is, and I'm going to show y'all how we can simply add a piece of Monahan paper to it, and this tray will be beautiful for summertime. Monahan paper, I don't know if you're familiar with it or have ever used it, but if you haven't, you're going to have to try it. It's one of my favorites now. And now is a good time to try it because the website where I get mine from, called Milton's Daughter, she is offering all of my viewers 10% off through the month of June. So I'm going to leave all the information for the discount code down in my description box and also in a pinned comment. So make sure to go out and check out Milton's Daughter. She has a huge variety of Monahan papers to choose from, and take advantage of her discount code and get several papers because you will absolutely love these for your upcoming projects. This butterfly paper right here was perfect for this tray. I'm going to try to capture as much of the design as I can and get as much of the butterfly inside the tray as I can. So I just kept positioning it inside the tray, and I just kept cutting off any of the excess paper. Now this paper is a good weight, So it's a thicker type paper, so it will also work if you have like a paper trimmer. And then two, you will get a really good straight line. In areas that I couldn't cut the paper, I just used my scissors, but I did fold it over and made a good crease just to make sure it was straight before I cut it. Now this is another lovely part about Monahan papers that I absolutely love. You don't have to use a decoupage medium to apply it. You can just use a good quality glue stick. I then just went over it really well with my brayer just to make sure it adhered to the tray really well. Now look how beautiful this piece is to set out for summertime. Now I'm going to show y'all how we can take this thrifted piece. This was a piece I found in Goodwill and it was $2.99, and this used to be sold at Kirkland's for $14.99, but I thought it was going to be perfect for the next piece of Monahan paper that I'm going to show you. We're going to make a patriotic piece for it because I know a lot of y'all love to decorate throughout the summertime patriotic, and this will make a great piece. You can hang on the wall or it can be a shelf sitter. I'm just going to trim off this edge of the paper, and then I'm going to use that edge and lay it down on my piece. Now I'm just going to get it centered onto the pieces, the way I want it. And then I'm just going to use a good quality glue stick. And I think I got those 3 to a pack at Walmart in the craft section. I applied one strip, secured the paper down really well, and then I just went across the rest of the board with my glue stick and laid the paper down, and you just roll over it with a brayer. When you're working on a piece like this, just make sure you've got your edges and your tops and bottoms secured really well. And once the glue is dry, then you can take your finger sander, and I have this linked in my Amazon store, but this is a great tool to have. I'm just going to work it across this paper and remove any of the excess paper on this end. Once I get that done, then I'm just going to go over it with the finger sander and just smooth down this edge. Then I'm going to take my wax brush and a little bit of dark wax. I never want to use a lot of dark wax, so I just very lightly put a little bit on my brush, and I'm just going to work it around all the edges of the paper just to make it look like it is worn into this board. Now we've got a great piece to set out for 4th of July or throughout the summertime. But just another beautiful paper that you can get at Milton's Daughter's website. Now, I'm not going to waste that strip we took off. I just went through my supplies. I found a couple of little hang tags. These are just made out of paper, nothing fancy. But I thought, I'm not going to waste this strip right here. We may as well make something else out of it. So I had just enough to make a couple of hang tags, and I'm just doing the same process. Using a good quality glue stick, I just apply the paper, roll over it with a brayer, remove any excess paper, and then I'm just going to poke a hole back through with a pencil, and then you can add any kind of, hanger you want to with these. Hang tags to me can be added to just about anything, just to add another, pretty detail to it. So get creative with your hang tags, and, you can hang these on wreaths, on baskets, or maybe you're having a get together at your home and you may have, some gifts for your guests. This will make a great embellishment for those too. Now, before I style everything for you and show you, my little patriotic theme for today, I'm going to show you this little thrifted basket. I love this little basket, and I put this up in a previous video and showed y'all when I found it at the thrift store. It's got a really nice flat bottom to it, and I love the shape. I got this at Salvation Army, and I think I only paid like 50 cents or $1 for it. It's gold. I'm sure somebody had it set out for the holidays, but I'm just going to go over it, give it a couple of layers of some white spray paint, bring it back in, and now it is ready to decorate with our patriotic theme.
by side we sway there in all the colors. Summer love, lonesome dove, folded on the lawn chair in all the colors. Summer love.
Now, I love finding these enamel envelopes out in the wild. Anytime I find them, I pick them up. I paid $1.99 for this one. We're just going to go over it and give it a good couple layers of some white spray paint. Once I got it spray painted, I brought it back inside, and now we've got a great canvas, blank canvas, just to work our magic on and just make this into something really beautiful for summer. I'm going to take a piece of decoupage paper, and I have used parts of this on a previous project, but I don't like to waste any of my supplies. So I'm going to make this piece of paper work. I'm just going to, use it in areas until I get the whole envelope covered. Now I'm using DIY liquid patina for my decoupage medium, but you can always use Mod Podge. I started over on that edge. I just trim away the excess paper. I get my, I just cut wherever I need it and make some straight cuts, because if you've got straight cuts, that way when you match up your paper, you're not going to notice as much. It won't be as noticeable that you pieced your paper together if you make really straight cuts. So that's what I did. I just tried to make my paper work in the areas the best I could. I got the bottom covered first, and I let it dry really well, and once it was dry, then I went in and started working on the top. Once I got to the top, I started running out of paper, so I really had to get creative with it. I don't have to go way down inside of the envelope because you're not going to see it, but I just wanted to get it worked on that top to where when we, set it out, it will look like it's fully covered. Now again, I used my little finger sander, and once everything was dry, I went around and I removed any of the excess paper off the edges. Now we're working on the top, and we're just going to do the same thing. I'm using the majority of what paper I have left, and I'm trying to strategically piece it so I don't waste any of the pieces of paper because I may need them. So I'm going to use this larger piece, put it down, and then I'll just go in the areas that don't have any paper and just piece it together. Once this was finished, you could never tell I'd pieced this paper together. So when you have a piece of decoupage paper and it has a pretty busy design on it, this is a good project to use it on because, you can't see the flaws in the paper of where you've had to piece it. So I've got one area left, and strategically I'm just trying to match up an area of the paper that I feel like will go the best in that spot where I need some paper. And I cut it down. I kind of cut it in a triangle just to fit in that spot, and then I'm going to apply it and just go over the whole thing with the DIY liquid patina. I'm just going to seal it across the top really well, and this little envelope will be done. Now I think this beautiful decoupage paper is, it kind of has a vintage look to it with the colors that it has in it with the blues, but I think we could dress this up, and you can also set this out in your patriotic vignettes, and also for the 4th of July. So I just tied a coffee stained piece of scrap ribbon to the top for the hanger. I added some faux baby's breath, and then I'm going to add a little bit of some of our little patriotic decorations to it, just to show you how pretty it would be decorated for your patriotic theme.
Stop giving back. Honeysuckle, fresh cut grass. I could really use some stuff like that.
Okay, y'all, it is time to go to Goodwill, and let's do our thrift store shopping for the week. Y'all know I love to bring y'all along at the end of my videos now and let y'all see where I shop and the things that I find, and that way when I put them up in videos, y'all have already kind of seen some things that I have found out thrifting. So let's go inside today and let's see what kind of treasures we can find. Each week at our Goodwill, they have a different color that is half off. So a lot of days I try to find things that are that color because that is just a huge savings when you can even get it even cheaper than what it already is. I love this round wood box. It was only 99 cents. I definitely picked it up because I think it'll make a great DIY project. If you have the coastal theme in your home, I think pieces like this just add that special touch. This really pretty seashell was $1.99. I always love little wooden boxes, and y'all comment below and let me know if you think this is vintage and old or if it is just made to look old. I love this piece. I didn't pick it up because I already have one that's similar to it, but I absolutely love the shape of it. I saw this little metal plaque right here with the little bird on it. It was $1.99. I think this will make a great piece that we can make over, and actually it looks pretty just the way it is. Comment below also if you've ever had one of these. I have never seen a right-on vase. This was really neat. I was going to pick it up, but it was a little pricey at $2.99, so I ended up putting this back. I love looking at the dishes when I go in Goodwill because you never know what you're going to find. But I thought these vintage looking saucers were really pretty, and they were priced at 99 cents. I love this angel right here for 99 cents. I thought she would be beautiful as a Christmas ornament. And then right beside her were these three little different kind of poses of like little ballerina girls. They were 99 cents each. I put these in my cart and then I put them back because I just wasn't sure what I would do with them, and I really wouldn't want to paint over them because of the detail. But I thought these were really cute, and they would especially be cute in a little girl's room. Now here is a sign. I put this in my cart and ended up putting it back. It was $4.99. I thought it would make a great project piece because on the back, look at that pretty wood. But I ended up putting it back because I couldn't think of what I would use it for. For some reason, I love little metal cans. I don't know why I have an obsession. But for $1.99, this one was half off. But I absolutely love the colors of this for spring and summer. Now, y'all comment below and let me know if you know what this is. It has some kind of sand mixture in the center, so I'm sure this is a piece that come off of something, but it was 99 cents. I did pick this up because I love the shape of it, and I think we can make something pretty out of it. I love this little chalkboard with an easel. I picked this up because I really like the design of it, and it was half off. Now on the half off end cap here, I found this really pretty frame. It was $1.99, so we can get this for half off, y'all, for $1. Frames like this are so pretty, especially if we can paint them up and put a pretty graphic in them. This right here just screams summer to me. This was just a bright yellow enamel can that you could put some florals or greenery in. And then on the end cap again, there was this beautiful jewelry box. This was really pretty. It was a little dirty on the inside, but not too bad. But I started to get it, and we could decoupage something on the top of it, but I ended up putting that piece back. Now, in last week's video, I don't know if y'all remember, but I found these vintage frames, and I told y'all I knew they were vintage by the girl's hairstyle because I wore my hair like this in my senior portrait. And so I went over to my mother's the other day, and what did my mom still have hanging on her wall but my senior portrait? So I had to take a picture and let y'all see how big my hair was back in 1981. I hope y'all enjoyed coming along with me today and doing these DIY makeovers and going to thrift store shopping with me. I love bringing y'all along and letting y'all shop with me. I hope y'all will go over and join me on all the social media platforms. I hope all of y'all have a great week. And until the next video, I want y'all to know I appreciate y'all, I love y'all, and I will see y'all again in my next video. Bye, y'all.